Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can come and get caught up on some of the latest news involving our Cleveland Browns, and then you get a take along the way that generally takes about 10 minutes. If you can, please like the episode and subscribe to the channel. Tell all your friends to do that as well, and also get your comments into the viewer comment section. Coming up on today's show, another sign that Joe Flacco's days in Cleveland may already be numbered. It's his contract. We'll explain. Also, Alex Wright puts the league on notice. We'll let you know what he said. We got a lot of new Browns fans in here, and Shedeur Sanders is wearing number 12, so we're going to go back and look at some of the other popular players who wore number 12 for the Browns. And then, of course, we will get your viewer comments in there. One person says, Kenny Pickett is our most tradable asset already. We'll explain. But first things first. I went back and, we talked about Joe Flacco and where he fits in now in this quarterback room after the surprise Shedeur Sanders falling to the 5th round and then the Browns putting 2 picks together to go up and get him in the draft. And so when you look at Joe Flacco's contract, it's just another sign that he would probably be the odd man out because it's a 1-year deal for $4.25 million. He's getting the minimum base salary, and he got a signing bonus, which the minimum base is like 1.3, and then the signing bonus was like 1.7. So that's how it all comes together. But here's the thing. This contract is incentive laden. Like if he's still on the 90 man for the last game of the season, he gets another $250,000. If he can get a bonus for every game. There's if he achieves so many passing yards, it starts to get like the whole contract is laid out with incentives, and so he's not a big cap hit. So there's really not much risk here for the Browns if they decided to let him go. If his total cap hit for the season is $2.85 million, and when his contract voids on the final day of the league year, the Browns will carry a $1.4 million dead cap for Flacco in 2026. So, he's got a lot of incentives he can earn. There's not a lot of money involved here. And so because of the way things worked out, remember, the original plan was Flacco, Pickett, rookie. But Shedeur Sanders falls down to the fifth round. Everything changed. Now we've got 2 rookie quarterbacks. So now we've got an odd man or an even man, like I like to say, an even man out. And I don't think it's going to be Kenny Pickett based on, like I said, what word on the street, Pickett's their guy. But again, another reason that Joe Flacco could be the odd man out. And boy, how about this? Alex Wright putting the league on notice. He was on the Honor the Land podcast, and boy, oh boy, he got some things off of his chest. This is what he said. He said, this year, we're taking initiative. Don't tell me what you can do. Show me what you can do. You could feel it. He says, the team is hungry. We want this. Let's put the league on notice that last year is last year. Just like being a good defense, nobody cares about that because it's last year. Let's put this hard hat on and let's get to work. Now, remember, Wright only played in 4 games last year because of that torn triceps. And we talked about him. I mean, he could be a really big factor on this defense this year. But I mean, it was in 2023 when he broke out. He had 25 tackles, 5 sacks, a pair of forced fumbles, And then here's the thing. The Browns are really going to have to rely on this defense, no matter who's playing quarterback. I think they're going to run the ball and play defense and try and win games 3-0 if they have to. And Wright's going to be a big part of that. Of course, Mason Graham, Myles Garrett, like this front line is really shaping up. Of course, Michael Hall Jr., who they got last year. And so, yeah, they're really going to, and remember, going into the draft, we had talked about it. You know, even the national pundits felt the Browns defense was in pretty good shape. And now what they've done after the draft, and even some of, the free agent signings that they've made, I mean, they could probably still use a little more depth at safety, but I think they're relying on some of these undrafted rookies that they brought in. So we'll find out this weekend a little bit more about them. There's a couple of safeties in there who could add to the depth. But this defense, I think they think that they can hang their hat on it. Of course, Jim Schwartz, I mean, they've been good. Number one defense in 2023, but they gave up too many points on the road for me that year, and last year was a debacle. But so Alex Wright, man, talking the talk, and again, here we go. So Shedeur comes in, talking the talk, walking out like Alex Wright is talking the talk, just like Shedeur Sanders. We need that. We need that confidence, folks. You can't go in there. We got to be the hunter. We can't be the hunted anymore. We got to be the hunter. So, whether it's Shedeur on offense and Alex Wright on defense, I'm fine with it. So, hats off to you, Alex Wright. Love to see it. All right. Now, speaking of Shedeur, he's going to wear number 12. And so, I know, caused a controversy. He doesn't get his number 2, but, Carter was here first, and he's been in the league, and who knows? Carter's 32. He may not even last, and so he may end up getting 2 anyway. But we have a lot of new Browns fans here, so I wanted to, for the lack of a better term, coach up a little bit on the number 12 in the Cleveland Browns, okay? I'm going to tell you this. It's not a storied history, okay? Vinny Testaverde wore number 12 for the Browns. Colt McCoy wore number 12 for the Browns. Jeff Driscoll wore number 12 for the Browns. Here's the one. Josh Gordon. Boy, oh boy, what Josh Gordon could have been, the wide receiver. Remember him? Oh my gosh, he was a stud, but just could not stay out of trouble off the field. But Josh Gordon wore number 12. Here is the one that all Browns fans will remember and will. When I hear number 12 for the Browns, this is who I think of. It's Don Cockcroft. He's considered one of the best players to ever wear number 12 in Browns history. He's a former punter and kicker for the Browns. He was a great place kicker, field goal kicker for the Browns back in the early days, like the early 80s, late 70s. But that's who I always remember. I remember Don Cockcroft. And then Kaderl Hodge, he also wore number 12. So my point in bringing all this up is, you know what? Shedeur could really own this and put number 12 on the map of Cleveland Browns history. So it's not such a bad thing that he got number 12. And that brings us to our viewer comments for today. And let's start with Khalil Martin 6202. He says, Flacco will likely be the most prepared to start week 1. I can't argue with that. Pickett will be the soft backup. It'll be very interesting to see how everything is playing out because the Browns locker room has shown more love to Shedeur than Dylan Gabriel. And the reason I use this comment is because he's not wrong. It's going to be very interesting to see, and we saw that with the last couple of years with Deshaun. Deshaun lost the locker room, I think. And so when he was gone, it felt like something was lifted off of that team the last couple of years. And I hope we don't get into that this year with these guys, but he's not wrong. It does appear that, because we said Denzel Ward tweeting and some other things going on. So for Shedeur. I hope it doesn't become a thing. I just hope it's a great quarterback competition, which we haven't had here in forever. Now, how about this is a very tough handle to pronounce, but I'm going to go with Kwabandi Lamini 212. That's what I'm going to go with. This is what the comment was. So it's not that they didn't watch Shedeur. It's that they never thought he'd be free that late. And having already set their draft plan sometime prior, and having called each of their prospective draft selections, they just passed on him until genuinely realized they said, holy mackerel, we can get a Lambo for the price of a Toyota. Remember talking about when Shedeur dropped, when Dylan Gabriel was doing his bird calls, and he says the birds told him that he was going to get picked by the Browns in the 3rd round, which tells me that he may have already known the Browns were taking him even before the draft. So he says, yeah, and that's exactly it. That was a great way to put it. The Browns looked at this and said, look at this. We can get a Lambo for the price of a Toyota. Let's do this. We cannot let this deal pass us by. That was a great take. Roger Barron, 95-14, another great take. So he says Flacco's not going to be the odd man or even man out. He says with the cap issues, Pickett is the most tradable asset. He said he could win 14 games and the Browns could not afford to re-sign him, and they've already passed on his fifth-year option. He said they can't afford it, which we all know that. Gabriel and Sanders, of course, are on the rookie deals, and Flacco is not tradable, but he's a fan favorite, and he's also, he'll not go 17 games. I feel the same way about Pickett, though. He says the Browns aren't realistically built for deep playoff runs. He said they should be getting the rookies in there. That's where I'm like, here's what I think, though. I mean, he's right. To me, in a perfect world, Pickett balls out, whether it's even in preseason, and then somebody needs a quarterback and wants to trade for him, or he balls out for the first 6-8 games of the year, and somebody has a quarterback go down, and they need somebody, and we can ship him off to get the most value for him. That's the thing, folks. It's like you really it's a tough call, because you kind of want Pickett the ball out to make him more tradable, and then Flacco can be there to mentor, and then he can take over when Pickett goes on, because I still feel like I would love to see the rookies just learn for as long as possible. I'd like to see them get in there at some point, but man, I'd like to see them learn throughout the season. And we'll end on Anthony Hilton, 1709. She's got two laughy faces, and it says, if you believe Kenny Pickett is going to take that team over the hump, good luck. Like, Anthony, I don't know if he will, but I'm telling you, everything I'm hearing, the Browns think he can be this year's Sam Darnold. Remember, Kevin Stefanski, he's the quarterback whisperer. And I think they're going to run the ball. They're going to run first, play defense. He's not going to be, whoever's quarterbacking is not going to be asked to do too much. This is going to be a completely different offense. It's not going to be this spread, throwing it all around the yard thing. We're going back to old AFC North football. That's what we're doing here, man. This is going to be 10 yards and a cloud of dust. That's what we're doing here, man. It is going to be grinded out and play defense and try and win games that way this year. So, all right, that's going to do it. Hey, rookie minicamp starts tomorrow. So football will be back in Berea tomorrow. So there'll be plenty to talk about through the weekend. So it's here, folks. Football is back in Cleveland. Man, oh man, time just flies. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for joining us. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.